May 10th, 2026. I want you to mark that date, not because something rare happens once and then never again. Things repeat. Things come back around. The cosmos doesn't lose track of who is owed what. But this particular Sunday night at 10:13 Eastern Daylight Time, a door opens that hasn't opened at this exact angle in 12 years. And the last time it opened, May of 2014, millions of people quietly received what had been owed to them since 2008. If you've been feeling the strangest sense lately that something is about to even out, that a weight you've been carrying for years is preparing to set itself down, you're not imagining it. I've been watching this for 40 years, and I had to record this today because what is happening on May 10th is not a metaphor. It is a calendar entry the universe has been keeping with your name on it. Let me tell you exactly what is happening and why it matters for your life specifically. On May 10th at 10:13 at night Eastern Time, that is 2:13 Universal Time on May 11th, the Sun reaches 20 degrees and 25 minutes of Taurus, and Jupiter, exactly 60 degrees away, sits at 20 degrees and 25 minutes of Cancer, a sextile, a perfect, exact, harmonious angle between the Sun and Jupiter. But this is not an ordinary Sun-Jupiter sextile, because Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. That is a technical word in astrology, and let me give it to you in plain language. A planet exalted in a sign is a guest in a house where every room has been prepared for them. Jupiter is the planet of generosity, expansion, and gift. Cancer is the sign of the home, the family, the body that holds. Put generosity into a home that has been preparing for it, and you do not get a small gesture. You get the standing ovation. And the Sun, in Taurus, is the principle of physical reality, sitting in the sign that rules currency, the body, the slow accumulated wealth that takes decades to build. Earth meeting water. Currency meeting home. The masculine principle reaching across 60 degrees of careful, supportive geometry to the feminine principle that has been holding the family. This is the chart of the IOU being honored. I'm Luna Solano. 40 years of reading the stars and 40 years of watching cycles like this one come around. I'm 67 years old. I've seen the Sun and Jupiter form this exact angle, in these exact signs, at this exact band of degrees, 3 times in my life: 1990, 2002, 2014, and each time something quietly evened out for the women I love. Let me tell you what those years actually held. May of 1990, 6 months after the Berlin Wall fell, the Treaty for German Monetary Union was signed on May 18th, and on the day it took effect, East German citizens, for the first time in their lives, received Deutsche Mark in exchange for the savings they had carefully kept under their mattresses for decades. 40 years of patience under the Iron Curtain, and then, in a single morning, the work of 3 generations was made liquid again. That was the last time Sun-Jupiter at 21 Taurus and Cancer arrived in May. May of 2002, just 4 months after the largest currency transition in human history, 12 nations folding into the euro on the 1st of January. By early May, the integration was completed. Family wealth that had been frozen at borders for centuries crossed those borders without friction. Same configuration in the sky, same theme on the ground. And May of 2014, 6 years after the financial crisis of 2008, that month the U.S. labor market crossed the threshold of recovering every job lost in the crash. Pension funds that had been frozen for 6 years began paying out their backlogs. Deferred raises were issued. Promised bonuses landed. 6 years of waiting, settled in a single calendar month, while Sun and Jupiter held this exact angle. This is the part nobody talks about. The cosmos has a memory. It does not forget. And it does not rush to deliver. It waits for the angle of the geometry to be right, and then it pays. Now listen carefully, because the chart of May 10th has a second piece that most people will miss. 1 hour before the Sun-Jupiter sextile becomes exact, at 9:09 Eastern Time, Venus, sitting at 20 degrees of Gemini, forms a minor friction angle with Pluto, who is in Aquarius. A sesquiquadrate, the astrologers call it, a 135-degree angle. It is the angle of adjustment, of recalibration, of one final piece of honesty before the gift can land. What does that mean in plain terms? It means that for an hour between 9 and 10 on Sunday night, the cosmos is asking you a question. Are you actually willing to receive what is yours? Or have you trained yourself after all these years to deflect it? Have you said, "Oh, I don't need anything," so many times that the saying has become a wall? The Venus-Pluto adjustment is the wall coming down. The Sun-Jupiter sextile is what walks through after. Let me explain the Sabian symbols of the 2 degrees, because this is where the chart speaks directly. The Sun at 21 Taurus sits on a degree that Mark Edmund Jones in 1925 gave the symbol a finger pointing to a line in an open book. Take a moment with that. The book is already written. The pages are already there. The finger does not invent the line. The finger points at what was already there, waiting to be seen. Sabian symbols, by the way. That's the visual metaphor astrologers assigned to each degree of the zodiac. A kind of cosmic emoji from 101 years ago. They're shorthand for the texture of the moment. And this one is telling you, the abundance you're about to receive isn't being created on May 10th. It is being shown to you. It was already in the book. And Jupiter at 21 Cancer sits on a degree whose Sabian symbol is a prima donna singing. The famous singer on the night of the performance. She didn't become a singer that night. She has been a singer for 30 years. The performance is recognition, not invention. This is the degree of the night. The work that has already been done is finally seen. Do you understand what these 2 degrees are saying together? On May 10th, the cosmos is pointing at a page in a book that has your name on it. A page that has been there for decades. and a voice that has been singing into the dark for years is finally heard. This is why I had to record this today, because if you don't know the configuration, you can let the night pass. You can be on the couch watching television. The gift will still arrive. The cosmos is generous, but you won't recognize it. You'll think it was a coincidence. Tonight, I want you to recognize it. Subscribe before we go any further, because the days after May 10th matter as much as the night itself. The integration window runs through May 24th, and I'll be tracking it with you. Now let me show you the 3 messages this transit is delivering. Personal, then relational, then the larger pattern. The first message is for your body. The Sun in Taurus rules the physical body, the throat, the senses of taste and touch, the ground floor of how you experience being alive. Jupiter, exalted in Cancer, rules the stomach, the breast, the deep organs that hold emotional weight and digest it slowly. When these two meet at sextile, the geometry says, the body is opening to receive what it has been giving for decades. If you have been waking up lighter than you expected this past week, if a tightness in your chest has loosened without your noticing when, if food has begun to taste different, sharper, more present, that is this transit moving through the cells. Your body has been carrying the bill. Of course it has been tired. Look at what the sky has been asking of it. And now the sky is moving that bill from the giving column to the receiving column. What this means for your actual life is pay attention to physical sensations between Sunday night and Tuesday morning. A small thing, a warmer cup of tea than usual, a walk that lasts 10 minutes longer than you planned, a nap that restores you the way naps haven't restored you in years. The body knows when it is being refunded. Trust it. That's the first message. The second one is the one that surprised me most. The second message is for the names you have been carrying. Let me tell you about a letter I received last week. A woman named Frances, 67, from a small town outside Knoxville, Tennessee. She wrote to me and said, "Luna, I haven't heard from my younger sister in 11 years. We had a falling out the spring our mother died, over something so small I can't remember what it was. I dream about her every week, and last Tuesday I woke up and her name was the first word in my mouth. Is something happening?" I looked at Frances's chart. She has Jupiter in Cancer in her natal 7th house, the house of partnership, of the people we are bonded to even when we are not speaking to them. And on May 10th, transiting Jupiter at 21 Cancer is sitting exactly on her natal Jupiter. A Jupiter return, the cosmos's 12-year refresh of the abundance contract you signed at birth. With the Sun in Taurus opening a sextile to that return, she is not imagining the dream of her sister. The dream is the cosmos preparing the line of the book it's about to point at. I told Frances her sister is alive in the cosmos's accounting. The chapter is not closed. May 10th is not the day she calls. May 10th is the day Francis becomes someone the call can land on. If a name from your family has been surfacing in your dreams or in your kitchen this week, alive or past, you're not imagining it. Jupiter in Cancer is the matriarchal lineage, the women before you, the family system you held together when no one else would. The sextile to Taurus Sun means concrete, embodied recognition from someone in your circle. Not a metaphor, a phone call, a check that arrives, a grandchild's text, a reconciled sister, an old friend you forgot you missed. Of course you carried the family. You were the one who could. And tonight, the carrying is being recognized. That's the second message. Now watch what happens when you add the third factor. The third message is the larger pattern, the civilizational one. When Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, at the level above any individual chart, what is being recognized is the cosmic ledger of mothering. And I don't mean only the women who had children. I mean every woman who held a village, who raised someone else's child, who kept a workplace functioning by remembering the birthdays no one else remembered, who became the keeper of the family medical history, the funeral planner, the holiday cook, the one called when something broke. The Sun in Taurus is the kingdom of physical reward, earth wealth, visible currency, and the sextile is the moment the ledger releases its physical equivalent. This is generational. Whole cohorts of women in their 50s through 70s are receiving acknowledgement at the same time, in the same fortnight, in different forms. One receives a check, another receives an apology, another receives a phone call from the daughter who finally understands. Another receives the simple recognition of looking at her own face in the mirror and seeing what she has built. If you have felt the world turn slightly toward you in recent weeks, a warmer glance from a stranger at the grocery store, an opening that did not require asking, you are not making it up. A generation that gave so much is finally being seen by the cosmic timing it lived inside. The universe doesn't make mistakes. This timing is deliberate. Now let me speak to the three signs most directly affected. If you are a Taurus, or if Taurus is rising in your chart, this is your sun the gift is moving through. The first house of your chart, the house of body and identity, is lit. Your area of life impacted is the body itself, your relationship with money, the slow rhythms of daily resource. Your action for this transit is the simplest. At 10:13 Eastern Daylight Time on May 10th, stand in front of a mirror. Place your hand over your heart. Say out loud, I receive what is mine. That is enough. The ritual for Taurus is reception, not request. If you are a Cancer, or if Cancer is rising, Jupiter exalted is sitting on your sign. Your first house is holding the gift. Your area of life impacted is home, family, emotional security, the lineage you came from. Your action is to light a candle in your kitchen between 10 and midnight on May 10th. Speak the names of the women in your line: mother, grandmothers, aunts, even the ones you never met. Let them witness you receiving. The Cancer ritual is lineage witness. They held the door open for you. Tonight you walk through it for them. If you are a Pisces, or if Pisces is rising, your sign sits at 60 degrees from Taurus and 120 from Cancer. The chart forms what astrologers call a kite of support across water and earth. Your area of life impacted is dreams becoming material, the inner world finally crystallizing into something you can touch. Art, creative work, quiet projects you've kept alive in private. Your action is to write down, slowly, 3 things you have wanted, but have never asked for out loud. Fold the paper toward yourself, not away. Place it under a glass of water overnight. Drink the water in the morning. The Pisces ritual is internalization. The water carries the asking down into the body. And even if your sun sign isn't listed, even if you aren't a Taurus, a Cancer, or a Pisces, check your rising sign. That's the lens through which this energy enters your specific life. Many of you are reading this and hearing, "I'm a Leo, this isn't for me." But if your rising is Taurus or Cancer or Pisces, this transit lights the room you live in every day. So, I've shown you the sky. I've traced the history. I've explained the messages and named the signs. The question I get the most when I describe a transit like this one is, "Luna, what do I actually do?" Let me give you the ritual. 5 steps. Materials you already have. Timing, precise. The optimal window is 10 o'clock to midnight Eastern Daylight Time on May 10th. That translates to 7 to 9 on the Pacific Coast, 9 to 11 Central, and the full window across continental America. The moon at this hour is in late Sagittarius, moving toward Capricorn. Practical, contained, good for grounding what you receive. The planetary hour at the moment of the sextile is Jupiter on the East Coast. Supportive. You will need 1 sheet of paper, any kind, a pen, a candle, any color, or a small lamp, a glass of water, and 1 small object from your family that has been around for at least 2 generations. A thimble, a button from a coat someone wore, a photograph, a coin, even a handwritten note from someone you have loved. If you don't have anything, the kitchen of the woman who raised you is enough. Sit in your own kitchen and let it stand in. First, sit down. Light the candle or turn the lamp on so the room has soft light. Place the family object in front of you. Take 3 slow breaths. Don't rush this. The whole ritual is 15 minutes. Give yourself the 15. Second, write at the top of the paper, "What I have been owed." And underneath, write a list. Not what you want, what you have already given for. Decades of meals you cooked when you were tired. Years of staying when leaving would have been easier. Phone calls you took at 2 in the morning. money you lent and never got back, birthdays you remembered when you were the only one. Write until the list feels honest. There is no wrong number of items. Some women write 3, some write 30. Both are correct. Third, fold the paper inward toward yourself, not away. You are not casting this list out into the void. You are reclaiming what it represents. Place the folded paper under the glass of water. The water is the witness. Fourth, place your hand on the family object and say out loud, slowly, "Tonight, the ledger is being read in my favor. The work has been done. I am the one it returns to. I receive what is mine." Say it once. You don't have to say it 3 times. The cosmos heard you the first time. Fifth, blow out the candle or turn off the lamp. Leave the paper, the glass, and the family object on the table overnight. In the morning, drink the water. Burn the paper if you can do so safely, or bury it in a small pot of soil. Keep the family object close to you for the next 2 weeks. Carry it in a pocket. Set it on your bedside table. It is the receipt. Now, after 40 years of watching people move through transits like this one, here's what I've seen actually work, and what I've seen people get wrong. For 48 hours after May 10th, do not lend money. Do not co-sign anything. Do not say yes to a request that drains you. Do not minimize a gift when it arrives. If someone gives you something, a compliment, a check, an apology, a meal, a reconciliation, do not say, "Oh, you didn't have to." Say, "Thank you." 2 words. That's it. Received cleanly. And this is the part nobody talks about. Do not ask the cosmos for anything new during these 48 hours. The energy is receptive, not generative. Don't manifest. Don't journal a wish list. The window is for delivery, not for ordering. If you flood the channel with new requests, you can miss what's already on its way. Let me answer the questions I hear most in the comments. What if my rising sign isn't listed either? The transit still affects you. Sun-Jupiter sextiles touch every chart. Look at the houses where Taurus and Cancer fall in your specific chart. Wherever they land, that area of your life is the area being refunded. How long does this energy last? The exact aspect is at 10:13 on Sunday night. The orb, the influence window, runs from about Friday, May 8th through Wednesday, May 13th. The integration period continues to about May 24th, when the moon completes her own cycle around the same arc. What if I miss the exact time? You don't miss the cosmos. You can do the ritual on Monday or Tuesday and still be inside the integration window. The cosmos doesn't punish people for sleeping at the wrong moment. It just delivers and notices when you receive. Can I do this ritual even if I'm a skeptic? Yes. The ritual works on the nervous system regardless of belief. The act of writing what you have been owed reorganizes the body that has been holding it. You don't need to believe in Jupiter to be relieved by the act of acknowledging your own labor. Here's what I want you to take with you. We started with a date, May 10th, 10:13 at night, Eastern Time. We traced the geometry. Sun in Taurus, sextile Jupiter exalted in Cancer. We followed the history backward, 2014, 2002, 1990, and found that every time this configuration arrived, decades of patient work were translated into something you could hold. We listened to the Sabian symbols, a finger pointing to a line in an open book, and a prima donna singing. And we understood that the abundance arriving on May 10th is not new. It is recognized. It was already written. The three messages: the body remembering what was earned, the names you carried being carried back, the generation that gave finally being seen. The three signs, Taurus, Cancer, Pisces, and your rising sign, whichever it is. The ritual, 5 steps, 15 minutes, the family object, the folded paper, the water as witness, the 4 sentences spoken out loud. And the wisdom for the days after: receive cleanly, don't ask for new things, and remember that the universe doesn't lose track of who is owed what. You have been giving for so long that you may have forgotten what it feels like to receive. That is going to change on Sunday night. Not because you suddenly became deserving. You were always deserving. The cosmos was waiting for the angle of the geometry to be right. The angle is right now. So I want to ask you something. And I read every word of what you write back, so take a moment with this. What is the one thing you have been owed for the longest and have stopped expecting? Tell me in the comments. The act of writing it is the act of opening the channel, and what you share guides what I explore next. Until next time, keep looking up. This is Luna Solano.